This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
Enjoyed watching him do what he does, and he's been obviously great to a lot of young coaches, that I know personally, and he's impacted a lot of us in some way, shape, or form. So condolences, thoughts, and prayers to his family from his passing. The Patriots, we're into it now. Got a little introduction into them yesterday, coming off the 3-day break with the players, and now we're obviously getting ready for our first full practice today. This is it's a team obviously that they played well Monday night. They're playing well. And it's a team that you're going to have to do a good job in all three phases. They play really good complementary football. Nobody scores more off of turnovers than they do. They forced a lot of takeaways. They play really stingy defense. They don't give up a lot of big plays. Hard to drive the ball and make you convert 3-4 third downs in a drive, which is always challenging against them. They always have something new for you that you're going to have to adjust to. Their offense got a lot of talented guys. Obviously, I'm familiar with some of them. Some of them I'm getting familiar with as we watch tape. But they can run it. They can throw it. They got a lot of different guys that can do a lot of different things. And this is obviously one of the best teams that we're going to play, if not the best team in the kicking game. So the returners having a fabulous year. They have a lot of really good cover players. Slater, Schooler. I mean, there's a bunch of them, and they do a great job in the kicking game every week. And so we'll have our hands full with all three phases. And guys, I think, are excited to get out there on the field and start working today for them.
You guys have three starters who could be eligible to come back from IR this week: Darren, Waller, Hunter Renfrow, and Divine Diablo. Do you feel good about their chances to maybe get out there and practice today?
Divine, no, just based on the situation relative to the surgery and those kind of things. So no, you won't see him out there today or this week. Hunter and Darren, you'll see them out there. So we'll start the clock today. Again, whether or not that's going to turn into activating them to the 53 this week or not, we're going to have to see how the next few days go. I mean, both of them are coming off of, injuries. We haven't really seen them practice in a while in regards to how those things are going to, respond to those kind of things. So, we're going to get them out there. We're going to kind of evaluate how it goes and, hopeful, but obviously, we're going to let, their bodies will tell us a lot here as we go through the next 3 days.
Josh, I know playing through the finish line is, the focus right now. But from a bigger picture standpoint, whenever Hunter and Darren do get back out there, how important do you feel like it is for your process moving forward that you do get an idea and eyeball what this offense could look like and be about when you have your full arsenal of talent out there?
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously every coach would love to have every guy healthy. It's just not the nature of this game. And I think we've had a lot of guys step in and play very well, when they've had their opportunities. And that'll continue to happen, obviously. We're going to need that. But, if you can get a good look at them, however many weeks that may be, a couple weeks, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, I think that, it gives you a better idea of what you might be able to do or what you might have been able to produce with the group together. But, our focus is going to be on this week, as you mentioned, and trying to do whatever we can to prepare for the Patriots and put our best performance out there regardless of who is or isn't active on Sunday.
You started watching the film on the Patriots getting ready for this week. How similar did things look?
There's some things obviously I see that I'm very familiar with. But like always, there's a lot of things that you see from them that, they've created, they've come up with. They do different things each week against the opponent based on, what they think gives them the best chance to win. It's very challenging, because, what you see on tape is not necessarily what you're going to get, So I think being able to follow your rules and communicate and, whatever you see, you're going to have to be able to handle it, And so in many regards, these weeks remind me of training camp, in terms of, hey, we don't know what the defense or the offense or the other side of the ball is going to do, and there's a challenge involved in that. And so we're going to study the players. We're going to try to know the strengths and weaknesses as best we can. Certainly we'll know some of the tendencies, but there's some of what I see that I don't really, I don't know, on any side of the ball. And then there's some other things that obviously I've had some experience with.
Conversely, on that, they know some of what you can do, but not everything that you like to do. You have your own stuff. So how much do you avoid like a chess match of like, well, I think I'm going to do this, so I'll do this. Like, how do you maybe avoid doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot made of that sometimes, maybe a lot more than what really is, useful, quite honestly. I mean, they know what our cadence is. I don't think we're not gonna change that. We know what their cadence is, and it is what it is. And you can change it here and there and make subtle adjustments if you want to try to protect something. I think you just got to be smart about that. Like, once you start overdoing that, then the week becomes more about that and not about what happens after the ball snap. So our focus is going to be on trying to, prepare as hard as we can so we can play well when the ball snaps.
Coach, there was a lot of guys that you brought into the team from the Patriots, but there was a guy that was already on the roster when you got here in Jermaine Kearse that you were familiar with. Mm-hmm. Can you just talk about the progression you've seen from Jermaine throughout this season and also from the time that you were with him from New England to now?
Yeah, Jermaine's I do. I have some experience with Jermaine, and we go back a little ways, and I'm really proud of the way Jermaine's fought. His career didn't necessarily start out the way he wanted it to, and bouncing between guard and tackle and changed teams a couple times. And I think Jermaine's a credit to him, just stuck with it, continues to try and improve as a football player, and, has carved out a good role for us here this year and played very admirably. So, I have obviously have a good feeling for Jermaine. I've got a little bit of history with him, and I'm excited to see him have some success with his career, and hopefully he can continue to do that. I know he wants to continue to get better, works hard at it each week, each day in practice, and hoping he has a good week this week. He's got a big challenge.
Your third straight season, having a new starting quarterback in week one. Obviously, that's an adjustment on both sides. But how do you feel like Derek has handled his
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
Your third straight season as a play caller, yourself
Yeah.
personally, come in with a new quarterback, Cam Newton back, and then
Yeah.
Derek. That's an adjustment on both sides. But how do you feel like Derek is kind of acclimated to your new system and performing overall?
Yeah, I mean, Derek works really hard. He's very smart. So, like I've said it before, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, he's learned a handful of systems in his lifetime, and so I don't think Derek really made a big deal out of that, because I think for him it's hey, this is the process. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to learn how to try to master the things that are important to him. Put in a lot of time and effort in the spring, in the summer, and he understands what we're trying to do, I think. And again, you can only be as far along as you are in the first year, but I have obviously no qualms with what he's attempted to do in terms of trying to learn it and understand it. And I think he's at a pretty fairly high level right now.
You mentioned the challenge that Jermaine Kearse is going to have this week with that Patriots defensive line. How big of a challenge is that going to be for your whole offensive line, and what's the health status of Alex Bars?
Yeah, Alex is, he's working hard to try to get back as soon as he can. I don't know if this week or not he'll make it, but he's doing everything he can. I know that. This is a really good group from top to bottom. They have depth. They're physical. They're big inside. They're long. They have a lot of guys that play on the edge. Judon, Uche, Jennings. I mean, they move Bentley out there sometimes. Dietrich Wise is out there. So there's a lot of different bodies that they will throw at you in their alignments and their different defensive packages. So it's not only a challenge to handle their physicality, their length, their pass rush. They do a tremendous job in their pass rush games, executing the things that they're trying to do. But it's also a challenge individually for our guys, because you're getting ready. You have to get familiar not with just one guy that's going to line up across from me, but it might be 3 or 4 different people, based on the spacing that they choose to use with their fronts or the different packages that they're in. So, kind of who's who, who's across from me, what is his strengths and weaknesses. It might be different than somebody else's, so there's some inherent challenges in that we're hard at work, obviously trying to identify what the different, matchups are going to be like and what we need to protect ourselves against. But I'd say from top to bottom, this is probably as good a group as we've seen.
How would you describe the influence that Bill has had on you throughout your entirety of your coaching career? And also, what did you kind of get from him the second go-round after Denver, after St. Louis, when you went back?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's obvious I wouldn't be here or even in the National Football League if it wasn't for Bill. Robert, Jonathan gave me a great opportunity a long time ago. He's been invaluable to me in a lot of ways. Hard to measure, all of them. Obviously football background, understanding how this league works. I got to see firsthand how to try to do it the right way. His philosophy on, everything, off season, training camp, in season, postseason, evaluations, draft, free agency. He was just, he gave a lot of his time to me, and I was able to hopefully pick up as much as I could. Still got a lot to learn, but he was a great mentor for me, not only in football, but also just in terms of, when I got there, I was 23, 24 years old. So basically grew up there. So, indebted to them, forever for that. And getting to go back there after, I had my experience with Denver. I think that was really a important period of time for me because I knew what I had done and what I had experienced, and I got to kind of take some time and really try to soak in, all right, I know I didn't do that very well, and now I'm watching him the second time around, and maybe the first time I didn't even know to look for it. And now I'm looking for different things, how he handles adversity, what he's doing here in the off season, how he's handling the bye week, what's he doing, in April, May, June, etc. That maybe I wasn't even clued in on that existed before I left. And so it gave me a great opportunity to kind of look at it through a different lens and really try to take some time to process those things while I was watching, somebody that's obviously the best that's ever done it, do it again. And so the time for me was important for me personally. And obviously, like I said, he's always given to me, time, attention, information. He's been very open and honest with me about everything, and I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for him.
How hard or easy is it to compartmentalize?
Say it one more time.
How hard or easy is it to compartmentalize? Then you're going up against, like you said, your mentor.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is the league. There's, it's very intrinsic. Everybody knows everybody anyway.
Yeah.
You beat him once already in Denver.
Yeah.
But again, to have it again, how strange is that?
Honestly, it's a unique opportunity, and I would say that look, I look forward to all these opportunities. They don't come around often, and I know he's going to get his football team ready to play. And on Sunday at 1:05, 1:25, whatever time the ball kicks, I don't think he's going to care a whole lot about how much he mentored me or what he did, and vice versa. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad thing. That's just, I don't think he would expect anything less from me than to just compete and do everything we can to help our team win. And I know that's what he's going to do. So I look forward to the competition. I know they do it the right way. Eager to have our team go through our week of preparation here and get ready for a hell of a football game on Sunday.
When you look at some of the mental errors that happen on Thursday, I think there's this sense sometimes where if there isn't some drastic consequences, that it's being almost condoned. Where's the, from a coach's perspective, in terms of emphasizing it and talking about it and coaching it, where there's only so much a coach can do in talking, and as far as any kind of consequences at all, what can you do to try to improve that so it doesn't happen?
I think you look, each one's different. Each situation you have to look at individually. The reality is this. We've said this a lot. This is an imperfect game. I haven't watched a game all year where somebody played perfect. So. There's a lot of plays in every game. There's a lot of mistakes being made on both sides of the ball, not intentionally. And I don't think anybody on our team has done anything intentionally to try to harm our opportunity to win. So, they do their best. We try to coach it the best we can. We're absolutely trying to hold everybody accountable to a championship standard in terms of the way we prepare, the way we play, and the way we coach. And so, again, some of that comes from experience. Some of it comes from we've had to learn some hard lessons, but sometimes those lessons are the most valuable to you as you move forward. And so, they don't feel good now, but hopefully as we move forward, you don't make them again. And, if you can stop the repeat errors, then you're making some progress. And so, like I said, it doesn't feel good in the moment, but, you hold everybody to the same standard and try to continue to improve them.
You guys moved on from John Simpson the other day. What was there that he was not doing? Was there maybe something in his preparation that you guys didn't?
No, it's just those are tough. Dave and I spent a lot of time we spent a lot of time talking about the roster in general, and John did some really good things here, and just felt like we're going to give some other guys some opportunities now and see if they can what they can do with them. That they've earned. That's it.
That's good. You guys put Jayon Brown on IR the other day.
Yeah.
With Devon probably not being able to come back this week. Getting a little thin at linebacker. How do you feel about that group?
Johnny snaps left in you, Tashawn? No, you're right. We added a couple guys now in the practice squad. So in terms of overall bodies, we still have 6 here. And like we've done all year, we'll bring them up, if that's the right thing to do relative to the game and playing the game. But Curtis, Luke, and Darren have been, active a lot here. So, we'll just make sure that we, get them prepared and ready to go. And Luke's played a lot of defense so far this year, and that won't change. And, we'll get Darren and Curtis ready to go if need be. And like I said, the other guys that we just added, they're going to be, trying to catch up as fast as they can too to help us either in a kicking game or on defense. So, it's not a challenge that is unique to us. As the New England's dealing with a bunch of different injury deals, and we all have to. Your depth becomes really important, I would say, in November and December. Every year. That's why it's important to try to look at the roster on the whole as 69 guys, not 53. Because at the end of the day, we're going to need a bunch more than 53. To complete the season.
All right, thank you.
Good to go.
Coach, I want to ask you a question.
Did you ever have a chance to talk to Coach Leach, like have a real conversation?
I never did. I mean,
Talk football a lot.
Yeah, he talked life, and I'm a good friend. Lincoln Riley's a good friend of mine. Obviously, he was a significant influence in Lincoln's life, and a number of other guys that I've actually crossed paths. Cliff Kingsbury, you know what I mean. So, everybody that I know that has known him or spent quality time with Coach Leach, I mean, have said the same thing. He's a great human being. Everybody knows him as a great coach, and he's kind of it was a great soundbite, obviously, but a better person, and he'll be missed for sure. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Thank you.
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.